see him. Thought I was the only one that saw Isaiah sneak in the band and play the clarinet real quick. He did his job. He did a good job with that. Killed it. Good job, Isaiah. So I know it was a few days ago, but I would still like to say, wish all the mothers and the grandmothers in here happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And fellas, please join me in saluting our mothers. Also want to thank the Cicely Tyson staff for putting this event together. I mean, this is amazing. Amazing job here. And please give them a round of applause. And Ms. Moss Hassan, thank you so much for inviting me here to speak. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Family and literacy. Those two go hand in hand. The first teacher any child has is their parents. And I know we're in a school and there's a lot of qualified educators here in the room today. So forgive me, but the best teacher that any child has is their parents and their grandparents. Now parents, literacy starts at home, right? And it's our job to make sure that we live up to that hype. It's our job to make sure that we do our part and be the best educator and teach our children the best lessons that they can learn, and our grandchildren. And grandparents, every now and then saying, yes, I'll keep the grandkids for the weekend, that goes a long way too. Just wanna put that out there, grandparents, please. Parents, thank me later for that one. The lessons that we teach our children, they'll last a lifetime. And those lessons aren't always in a book. Kids are sponges. They soak up everything we put out. So if we put out negativity, then that's the way our kids will go because that's what their first teacher taught them. If we put out positivity, then that's the road our children will travel as well. I'll never forget watching my grandfather shave his face. He said, Kafani, you can't control whether or not the hair on your head will grow, right? He ain't lied yet. But the hair that grows on your face, make sure you keep it neat. Make sure when you walk into any room, you're clean and you're presentable. Simple lessons, but it's knowledge passed on. So every morning, because of the knowledge that was passed on to me as a child, every morning, I make sure that my two sons, Jared and Jordan, who also attend here, my babies, Jordan's in pre-K, Jared in second grade, it's my babies. But every morning, I make sure that they see me iron my shirt, iron my slacks, make sure that the crease is sharp in my slacks. Because they need to know that as a young man, you should always carry yourself in such a manner and be presentable. If I throw on jeans, rare occasion, I make sure that they see me put my belt on, pull those jeans above my waist. Because they need to know that no matter how comfortable you are, you still need to make sure that you're presentable. Yeah. But this is knowledge passed on. Family and literacy, these things go hand in hand. I'll never forget my grandmother cooking over the stove for hours just to make sure that everybody in the house ate. Passing down those good old Guyanese recipes. True matriarch of the family. Kept the family straight and in line. See, my grandmother, she's creative with a cookbook. And if you get out of line and you tried it, she was creative with the belt too. Just want to say that. She passed that down generations too. But discipline was very important in my family, especially with my grandparents. They come from such a strong generation. One of the most underutilized and untapped resources in our society today is our grandparents. I can log on to the internet and Google things like the Newark riots of the 1960s. I could do that till I'm blue in the face. But no one can teach me or my sons more about those riots better than our grandparents who actually lived through them and experienced those days firsthand. Experienced the civil rights movement firsthand. it's so important that that information is passed on to the next generation. I would not have been able to fully appreciate Colin Kaepernick's activism without my father first teaching me about Stokely Carmichael and Nat Turner's activism. Family, literacy, they go hand in hand. I always knew that after high school, going to college was the next step. But I would not have known just how important it was without my mother calling a Jacob's taxi to take us to college orientation. 2 hours in the back seat of a taxi, and $200 later, I realized this is serious. See, my mom is a superhero. My mom has sickle cell disease. The average life expectancy of a person with sickle cell disease is 27 years old. In January, we celebrated my mom's 60th birthday. My mom is a superhero. And it starts at home. See, parents, grandparents, we are all superheroes to our kids and our grandkids. The movie that came out a couple of months ago was cool, but we are the Black Panther to our kids. We are that superhero, right?
Right.
Wakanda forever, right?
Yep.
So let's continue to be those superheroes, set those positive examples, and share lifelong lessons with our children. For even being here right now, it shows that we're moving in the right direction. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going forward. Thank you.